Namo Phat. Good morning. Thank you for joining me for a daily practice check-in. Listen, listen, listen. This beautiful sound calls us back to our true home. The first mindfulness training. Aware of the suffering caused by the destruction of life, I vow to cultivate compassion and learn ways to protect the lives of people, animals, plants, and minerals. I am determined not to kill, not to let others kill, and not to condone any act of killing in the world, in my thinking, or in my way of life. This morning we're beginning a new book for our Dharma readings. It's Seeds of Dhamma by Ajahn Sundara. This first reading is A Still Lake. The feeling of discontent is not a bad thing. It's not unhealthy. Discontent is a symptom of the heart's yearning for freedom. When we feel discontent, instead of saying, "Oh, this is terrible," simply realize that at that moment we are aware of our limitations. Discontent is a sign that we have come up against the wall of what we can bear, and something in us does not want to go beyond that wall. But we have a choice. We can thicken the wall or create another wall by distracting ourselves, or we can let go, and by letting go, we clear the wall. The more we let go, the more we hack away at the hard self we have to live with. Letting go in this context is not just a synonym for freedom and bliss. It's a very practical thing. Whenever we let go, we are freeing ourselves. The Buddha did not say we should not have any desires. He recognized that we live in a world of restless energy, of wanting, of discontent. Out of compassion, he gave us a teaching that allows us to investigate the reality of this world. The Buddha taught a path of investigation, but we cannot really use the ability to investigate the realm of our mind and body very thoroughly unless we have already cultivated a certain amount of peace, a certain amount of ease. The mind is often compared to a pond or a lake. If the lake is constantly stirred up, constantly agitated by the elements, it's difficult to see very deeply into the water. We can only see what is at the bottom of the lake when it is quiet and still. Like a lake, the mind, too, can be agitated or still. One of the conditions for being able to investigate the nature of our mind is the ability to be still. This is the first step in meditation, learning to quiet down. Unless we do this, we will always be in a restless, worried state. Until we have a certain amount of inner stillness, we will be unable to clearly see the changing nature of our feelings, thoughts, and habits, and the way they influence us or affect other people. To begin meditation, we calm the mind by just focusing, bringing our attention to an object that is calming. We can meditate on something very impersonal, like a candle flame. Just focus our attention. We don't need to concentrate heavily on the flame. Or we can focus our attention on the breath. Again, we don't need to focus heavily on it, just enough to feel the natural rhythm of breathing. Watching the breath doesn't cost us any money, and it's always available, so we have no excuse for not learning how to calm our minds. Remember, there's no clarity of mind as long as there's agitation and turbulence. We will never be able to come to the point of deeper insight where the mind is truly transformed for good if we are constantly agitated. This does not mean we will always be successful in calming our mind. It does not mean that habits will never take over and push us back into the same old rut. but we always have the Buddha's teaching to help us get out of the rut. Eventually, as we become more skilled at seeing deeply and clearly, we won't need special conditions. Any situation will be fine. In the middle of the most outrageous situation, we will be able to find a stillness, a still point, the eye of the storm. May all beings be well. May all beings be happy. May all beings be peaceful. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you for joining me this morning.